I'm of the opinion that Yellowstone is at its best whenever it slows things down and allows its characters to interact with each other in meaningful ways. So it feels like this week's episode was tailor-made for me. We didn't have any major action sequences, and that was completely fine because the plot moved forward with dialogue. Hi there mate, how's it going? It's Benji here, and this is a breakdown and review of Yellowstone Season 4, Episode 5, titled Under a Blanket of Red. John's loneliness is one of the most important themes this week, as he spends an entire day going around doing nothing but admiring his view and listening to birds. It's clear that Kayce's move away from the ranch has affected him, and he keeps wondering why every member of his family has to run away from the ranch to find happiness. Beth surprises John somewhat inappropriately in his room, and John slowly opens up to Beth, telling her that seeing her here makes him happy, that it makes his heart full. John then says he hopes Beth survives him because he couldn't live without her, and Beth comforts him with a great response, saying that only the good die young. This conversation is a reminder to John that he is not completely lonely, even if it certainly feels that way sometimes. His daughter is still by his side and fighting for the family, which means John has got something to live for and look forward to. Not everybody has abandoned him. That said, Beth has to go on a business trip a couple days later to Salt Lake City, Utah, where the Schwartz & Meyer headquarters is located. Before this 7-hour road trip, Beth is with her dad during breakfast, who asks her what her plan is. She explains that she's taking the job at Market Equities in exchange for their controlling interest in Schwartz & Meyer. Her official role will be the president of Market Equities' Montana division. By helping Market Equities build resorts all around Montana, Beth will ensure that her family's land will remain in her family's hands. That's the plan that Market Equities has anyway. Beth has other ideas. She wants to blow up the company from the inside. Beth arrives in Salt Lake City and barges into Bob Schwartz's office, telling him that he's fired and that Schwartz & Meyer is moving to Montana. This was one of those scenes in which Beth's badass attitude didn't look and sound completely ridiculous because she's taking revenge here, and it felt realistic for her to enjoy this moment and ridicule Bob. Moments like these are when Beth should throw out her one-liners and be a quote-unquote badass, but if they make her act this way every time she appears, it just loses its magic. This whole ordeal means that the Dunn's land is mostly safe because they own a bunch of land around the ranch with Schwartz & Meyer. That land is in a conservation easement program, which means it's not being farmed and nothing will be built on it. This was one of the ways Beth protected the ranch. She was proactive in preventing urbanization around the ranch, which means that the property taxes did not skyrocket. And now, with Schwartz & Meyer under Beth's control, that land in the Conservation Easement Program is safer than ever. Life is slowly going back to normal for Kayce's family as they move to Monica's grandfather's house, and Tate goes through a few sweat ceremonies. Rainwater and Monica have a chat after one of those, and I quite liked Rainwater's comment about what happened to Tate. Rainwater's take is that society has taught kids they're sheep and that they need somebody's protection. So when wolves attack and you strike back, you feel like you've done something wrong, even if you protected your own life. So Rainwater thinks Tate shouldn't feel sorry for saving his and his mother's life. And how can you not agree 100% with Rainwater's assessment? Police ain't gonna be there 24/7 to protect your ass, and you should act like a warrior when you have to. There's nothing wrong with that. Monica is also looking for a house between the Rez and Bozeman. She's got a place in mind, and Kayce seems to be okay with this plan. Tate is getting better, and he is somewhat back to his talkative self, so that's good news. That particular problem might be behind Kayce, but a new one awaits in front of his office building. A bunch of activists are protesting the Livestock Association, and one of these punks tries to grab Kayce, which is a terrible idea, so things heat up and Livestock Agent Hendon gets involved, guns are drawn and people start throwing stones at them. Sheriff Haskell shows up and calms things down before Kayce calls John. John's reaction to this news is priceless. He can't believe it. He is in disbelief, just like I was when I saw this storyline. So anyway, John shows up in Livingston to take a look. He has a conversation with the main organizer of the protest, Summer Higgins, who says they're protesting the mass murder of animals and the police force that protects these acts. Again, John is absolutely brilliant here. His reaction is hilarious, and he goes on to say that Summer has no idea what she is talking about. She thinks that the food she consumes doesn't need to harm anything to be produced, and John tells her otherwise, which leaves Summer dumbfounded. At first, John wants the sheriff to press charges to teach Summer a lesson, but I suppose his current state of mind causes him to be more considerate. He thinks this isn't going to teach Summer anything. In fact, this will cause her to double down on her convictions, so John decides to bail her out and offers her a tour of his ranch to show her what actually goes on behind the curtain, what this way of life that scares her so much is actually about. Summer is a full-blown SJW with the vocabulary of a 3-year-old, so she spouts some nonsense about not getting in the car with a white male. John's like, okay, bye. But then she changes her mind and gets in the truck. I was wary of this storyline going into the season because from a couple of interviews I read, it sounded like an absolute cringe fest, but it wasn't too bad because it showed the truth about how most activists don't really know what they're talking about. I think we all observe this behavior in dimwit celebrities who raise awareness for certain issues without doing their part. I'm sure this will upset some people, but that's what I think. Moving on to Jamie, he gets to the bottom of the attack on the Duttons by interviewing Riggins, the man that paid Checkers to put together a team to carry out the attack. John knows Riggins must have gotten his instructions from somebody else because he doesn't have a past with the Duttons, so that's why Jamie is investigating this matter. Riggins opens up to Jamie in exchange for immunity, and although we don't hear what he's got to say, it's obvious that he reveals Garrett as the man behind the assassination plot. We can infer this from the fact that Jamie goes on to confront Garrett. Before he can do that though, Christina comes out of nowhere with her and Jamie's child. We haven't seen Christina since season 2 when she told Jamie about the pregnancy. She left Jamie because he went back to his family and Christina did not want anything to do with the Duttons, but now that Jamie is free from them, she comes back. I was starting to think that Christina was never gonna show up, which is why the timing of this is just perfect. She was still in the back of my mind, but I wasn't on the lookout, so I was surprised to see her. This obviously prevents Jamie from confronting his father about the assassination, and we'll probably see that encounter next week. Lloyd is fuming throughout the episode because Rip is still treating him like crap. That's because Lloyd broke the only rule he shouldn't have. He started a fight. I don't have much to say about this really. Lloyd is still jealous of Walker and Laramie, but whatever, I don't find this storyline that interesting. A lot of people aren't finding Jimmy's story interesting either, but I've enjoyed it so far. It was nice seeing the famous cowboy Buster Welch giving Jamie some advice this week, before Jimmy started working on the 4-6's ranch. To wrap this up, like I said at the beginning, I like these types of episodes because they allow us to explore these characters further. For example, we get to see John dealing with his loneliness this week, and I thought that was enjoyable. We definitely could have done without the protest bit, but it is what it is. I can't wait to see how Jamie deals with his dilemma. Beth is setting up to surprise market equities, and it was fun to see her get her revenge. I'm glad Tate is getting better, and yeah, that's it. What did you think about this episode? Leave your comments down below, like this video if you've enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe for more movie reviews and TV show breakdowns. That's it for now, take care and see you in the next video.